Let's discuss about transistor. What is transistor? A transistor is a semiconductor device used to amplify or switch electric signal and electrical power. It is composed of semiconductor material, usually with at least three terminals for connection to an internal circuit. A voltage or current applied to one pair of the transistor's terminal control the current through another pair of terminals. Because the control power can be higher than the controlling power, a transistor can amplify a signal. This is the picture of the transistor. Who invented the transistors? Transistors were invented at Bell Laboratories in New Jersey in 1947 by the three brilliant U.S. physicists, John Barden, Walter Bartram, and William Shockley. What does a transistor actually do? A transistor is really simple and really complex. A transistor is a miniature electronic component that can do two different jobs. It can either an amplifier or a switch. When it works as an amplifier, it takes in a tiny electric current at one end and produces a much bigger electric current at the other. In other words, it's a kind of current booster that can in really useful in things like hearing aids. One of the first thing people use transistor for. A hearing aid has a tiny microphone in it that picks up sounds from the world around you and turns them into fluctuating electric current. These are fed into a transistor that boosts them and power a tiny loudspeaker so you hear a much louder version of the sounds around you. Transistor can also work as switches. A tiny electric current flowing through the one part of a transistor can make a much bigger current flow through another part of it. In other words, the small current which switches on the larger one. This is essentially how all computer chips work. For example, a memory chips contain hundreds of millions or even billions of transistors, each of which can be switched on or off individually. How is transistor made? Transistors are made from silicon and some from germanium and a chemical element found in sand, which does not normally conduct electricity. Silicon is a semiconductor, which means it's neither really a conductor or an insulator. Type of transistor: bipolar junction transistor. The bipolar junction transistor was the first type of transistor to be mass-produced. Bipolar transistors are so named because they conduct by using both majority and minority carriers. Field effect transistor. The field effect transistor, sometimes called a unipolar transistor, use either electrons or holes for conducting and etc. That's all. Thank you. That's all for the discussion of transistor.